Hello YouTubers, this is the one and only Sonic Ranger back with another video review, and today we're taking a look at another one of Mattel's Halo action figures of the 6-inch series, starting off with an Alpha Crawler Build-A-Figure. That said, I still don't have all the pieces to the Alpha Crawler, so there's no point for me to go into detail about that until I have all the pieces to do its very own video review. So we're not even going to talk about it. I'm not even going to show off the part, but you can kind of see it's right there. That's all you'll get from me. Anyway, today we're taking a look at Spartan Locke, which is a very controversial character of the Halo series. Starting off with Halo 5 Guardians, not a lot of people like this character, so here's pretty much what you get with the packaging. This is the front, not much going on. Ages 8 and up is the recommendation for these figures. On the side here, you get a nice image of, Locke in action figure form, which looks pretty detailed, more than the actual figure itself. We'll get more into detail about that later on. So on the back, pretty much like Master Chief, shows you the figure without his armor. There's all his armor that's been removed. Here's the weapons he comes with, and there's that picture that was cut off on the side, same one. The also available characters of this series, which we'll get to eventually, and of course the Alpha Crawler Build-A-Figure, which I can't wait to put together once I get the rest of the figures. So that's gonna do it for so here he is, Locke, all decked out in his armor. Like him, hate him, I think the character's concept is pretty cool. I like the armor, I like the colors, and I like some of the deco that's going on with this figure, even though it's not really much. I didn't even notice this little symbol right here on this chest piece until I was getting ready to film. Even though you're not really going to see this too well. And this might actually be taking away some of the 60 frames per second because of it. Sorry guys, it's just the way it is. It's a very small symbol. And it's not even engraved into the armor like it is in the video game, so it's just printed on. Also, there's a little bit of some printing going on his helmet here. I don't know what that is. I couldn't figure it out in the video game, so yeah, it's misaligned, but that's the way it is. It's not the figure. That's just the way it actually is in the game. So color choices is okay for what it is. We got some grays, light grays, dark grays, a little bit of some nice shimmery color gray for the armor, and then we got some turquoise painted for the tubes on the figure everywhere. Well, just about everywhere, from the front to even the back here, right next to the butt. And that's really gonna do it. Oh yeah, and of course the visor. Obviously the visor, why not? Let's try this again so you can get a good look at all the detail on this figure, because it's really good. Mattel spares to no expense when it comes to the detail on their figures. This is some really good work. Now I know a lot of people are just, when it comes to Mattel compared to McFarlane, it's a no-brainer on which one's got more detail, more paint apps, and it's just, you just gotta let it go, guys. McFarlane is done with Halo. It's not coming back. So Mattel is the future, and it's a new scale, and not a lot of people are happy about that, but like I said, we're just gonna have to deal with it. But that's your choice. And me, on the other hand, I've got no problem with Mattel with these figures so far, because they're pretty cool. I really like the Master Chief figure, and I like Locke. Locke's a really good figure, and I know a couple of reviewers have said that his armor from the waist down is kind of bulky on him, and I can kind of see it, but then again, in person, in my hands, and looking at him with my own eyes, it's not that bad. It actually looks pretty good on him. I like the bulkiness in a way. I really do. It actually shows more of a character within the armor. I mean, this looks like an actual person all decked out in some Spartan gear. But yeah, he's a cool figure. And he's got a fair amount of weapons as well, just like Master Chief did, which I'll show you real quickly. He's got his battle rifle from the video game, which is, just gunmetal gray, and It's got some nice deco on it for what it is. It's not perfect. It's definitely not McFarlane Toys, but then again, like I said, there's a difference between those two companies. So that, you know, it's good for what it is. And then of course he comes with this, which I am not really sure what the name of it is. I think it is called a plasma caster. Don't hold me to that, but for what it is, it's got some nice paint work, you know, the purple and the silver, and of course the gunmetal gray for the handle bit. So for what it is, it's pretty good. It's not bad. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of some maroon red down here. Just point that out. So there you go, that's pretty much the color scheme and the details on the weapons. This figure, on the other hand, unlike Master Chief, does have one problem with his weapons, and that is they are not designed to be held in by both hands, unfortunately. I'm going to show you real quickly. Because of the armor, it can really hinder this figure. And it really shouldn't, because his armor, his chest piece, is a lot different from Master Chief. It actually has some cuts in between. So you think maybe you get a little more clearance out of it, but you know, you can't really. I mean, you can work with it, you can get the biceps to rotate and all that, and you can actually get him to hold the weapon with both hands, but it's quite the challenge, and I just don't have the time to do it because it took me a good 10 minutes to get it the first time, and it is some very, very stressful work. But for what it is, it's really not that bad. I mean, I have seen worse. This figure is pretty cool, even though he's limited in how he holds his weapons. But, you know, what could really make this line a lot better is if Mattel, later on down the road, actually gives these figures a little more articulation at the shoulders. Now, what can they do besides a ball joint? Well, how's about like Marvel Legends? Some of their Spider-Man figures have butterfly joints, and Halo is no doubt one of those lines that really needs as much articulation as they can get. I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer. But I guess it just can't fit the budget. But for what they've done so far with removable armor and the fact that he's loaded with articulation and a couple of accessories that are pretty decent for what it is, and the paint job's not that bad, I guess I can let it slide for now. But later on in the future, I really want to see them go in the direction of a little more articulation to help out with the figure and the way he holds his weapons. There is one little complaint that I have noticed with this figure, and that the fact is, because of the sculpting of his chest armor and how very rubbery it is, it does not like to hold in place. Let me get some more light in here. For some reason it's getting dark, but yeah, anyway, it moves around on the figure. I've already resolved that situation because thankfully Mattel actually sculpted the hole on the inside of this back piece here all the way through. It is a complete hole. It doesn't stop within the plastic. It goes all the way through, and there is another hole into the actual back of the sculpting of the figure. So this longer peg is able to slide in both with a little work, maybe a blow dryer. You can actually warp this peg piece inside to hold in place while it's still attached to the back of the armor, and that pretty much resolved that. It's pretty good. And yes, I will show you real quickly that he can still actually store his weapon on his back if I can find the peg in the hole. There you go. See? There's still enough room for him to house his weapon on the back, even though the peg can no longer be removed. For quick size comparisons with Master Chief, there you go. Locke is a little shorter than Master Chief, or maybe that's just my eyes, but going by the visor point on the figures, I would say that Master Chief is actually a little taller, which does make sense because Master Chief is a pretty big guy, or, you know, pretty tall. But for what it is, it does look like a completely different sculpt when compared to Master Chief. Everything seems to be different. The body is different from the Under Armour, which, you know what? In all honesty, I think the best thing for me to do is to just show you what he looks like without his armor, even though, I gotta be honest, it is a little hard to get the chest armor back in place because it is a very, very small connection, unlike Master Chief. So, If you just bear with me for 1 second, I will take the armor off both figures and show you a complete overall aesthetic. Okay, so here's Master Chief and Locke without their armor, just in their garments. Yeah, but for what it is, the sculpting is entirely different. There doesn't seem to be any usage of any similar parts on these figures whatsoever. That's going for both the front and the back of the figures. I will show you the back real quickly just so you can see that too is completely different. Everything about this figure is entirely different except for the articulation, and we'll get to that right now. Articulation is similar to Master Chief. You got yourself a ball jointed head, and yes, it is blocked a little bit to the back of the sculpting of the helmet, but if you work with it, if you push back just a little bit of pressure, you can get him to look forward, okay? So there you have it, okay? A lot of people have complained saying there's no articulation to the head, there's no way he can actually look forward, he's always looking down. Well, I just proved to you on camera right here that if you push back with enough pressure, it will stay in place. He is looking forward. And yeah, it doesn't hinder any of the movement from side to side, but of course he's without his armor, so he's got full movement. I mean, free clearance, so what are you gonna complain about, right? So anyway, back to the articulation. Ball jointed shoulders, they do go in and out pretty good. Bicep rotation, kind of limited on this one, or at least it's strict. I gotta work with that. I've got to take one thing back about these figures. They do actually have double jointed elbows. I did not notice that until a few days ago when I got this figure. So for what it is, it doesn't work as good as Marvel Legends style, but it does actually work when it works. So as you can see, the joint down here isn't moving at all. It's the upper portion that's moving. So there's one joint, and then there's also the lower part of the elbow, so it is double jointed. And without the armor, you can get it up pretty good. So that's good. Rotation at the wrist fold in and out like so. There's a ball joint here at the upper portion of his body, which can get a lot of movement, as you can see. Legs go up about this much, and they are restricted in the back thanks to the sculpting of the butt, but they do split out. They do go side to side about that much, which is a pretty good range. There's upper leg rotation like that, double jointed knees, and then of course we get to the bit of articulation that can be questionable. We've got a pivoting joint like this going up and down for the feet, and then of course there's an ankle rocker pivot, but thanks to the sculpting, it doesn't work as good as any standard Marvel Legends action figure from Hasbro, which can hinder the posability of this figure when you're trying to get them stable with both feet flat on the floor. So I'm just being honest with you guys. There's room for improvement, but overall, I'm very pleased with this line. So there you have it, guys. There's my overall thoughts on this action figure. I've said enough. It's up to you whether or not you make your decision on purchasing this figure or not. I've already said my piece. I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions on this action figure or this whole entire series so far down below in the comment section of this video. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. Leave it down below in the comment section of this video. If you liked the video review, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't like the video review, hit the thumbs down. It's your choice. And if you haven't already, why not hit that subscribe button for more video reviews just like the one you're reviewing today from the reviewing station. This is the one and only Sonic Ranger signing out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you whenever you see me.